Pam Anderson and Tommy Lee gave us a rock and roll love story for the ages. The blonde bombshell and the bad boy rock star fell in love at first sight and flamed out with a bang. They may be happily married to new partners these days, but here's the reason why Pam and Tommy really split. Despite Anderson once telling Lee not to visit her on a work trip to Cancun, he did anyway. Lee recalled in Mötley Crüe's 2001 autobiography, The Dirt, "Evidently, Pam wasn't even going to return my call, but her friends saw how hard I was working and begged her, go out with him for one drink, it couldn't hurt." Well, it did hurt because 4 days later, we were married.
We were just like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, go. Like, nobody really thought much about anything.
Just 96 hours after their first official date, they tied the knot on the beach in 1995. Lee remembered, instead of wedding bands, we went for something more permanent, tattoos of each other's names around our fingers. This was real. We were married.
I knew him 4 days.
4 days and you got married.
Well, he proposed to me
Great.
on the first day.
Showing a lot of restraint, Mom.
At the time, Anderson told People magazine, it was just instant, mind-blowing animal attraction. He's everything I've ever wanted in somebody.
Soon. We want to have babies.
Anderson got pregnant almost immediately after they got hitched, but suffered a miscarriage that left Lee, quote, depressed for months. When the two welcomed their first son, Brandon, in 1996, a dark realization hit Lee. He wrote, "Pamela and I got busy having kids so quickly that we never gave ourselves a chance to build a solid relationship. I asked her much later, why didn't we work on our relationship more? We couldn't," she replied. "I was pregnant the whole time." By Lee's own account in The Dirt, frustrations in their relationship had spiraled into full-on domestic violence by 1998. During one particular argument, Lee claims he became violent toward Anderson. He was arrested and charged with felony spousal abuse. In May of that year, the LA Times reported that Lee pleaded no contest to spousal battery and was sentenced to 6 months behind bars, as well as mandatory counseling and community service. During a custody battle years later, Anderson accused Lee of physical and emotional abuse and cited the same incident, claiming via the Evening Standard, "Tommy physically attacked me with complete disregard for my safety and, more importantly, for the safety of our children. Tommy kicked me violently in the back several times and in the buttocks. He was completely out of control." Lee was released from prison after serving 4 months of his sentence, but in May 2000, Rolling Stone reported that Anderson was a witness to Lee's alleged drinking, which violated his probation. Lee was sentenced to just 5 days behind bars. With his probation extended to May 2003, he was ordered to undergo random drug testing and join AA. Lee, who previously documented his exploits with alcohol in The Dirt, was later accused of abusing alcohol during a 2018 altercation with his son Brandon. Brandon later released a statement to People magazine, alleging that Lee's alcoholism was the true root cause of the incident and that he tried to organize an intervention.
You know, I was really upset when all that stuff was going on.
Sources told TMZ, Brandon claims Tommy was drunk and lunged at him and he punched his dad in self-defense. Lee denied this, alleging that he and his then-future wife, Brittany Furlan, were in bed when Brandon attacked him. Lee later responded via Twitter, writing, "I'm happier than I've ever been in my entire life. I have a few drinks here and there because I'm retired and enjoying my life. I worked 30+ years. I deserve it. You didn't arrange any intervention. You barely spoke to me while you were here."
No, I'd like to say that I'm an adventurous person, but I haven't had the opportunity to express myself.
Pam and Tommy made what may be the very first viral dirty celebrity videotape. And according to Rolling Stone, the tape was stolen from their Malibu home in 1995 and ended up in the hands of a peddler. Lee wrote in The Dirt that his and Anderson's attorneys advised them to sign off on a one-time webcast of the video to maintain some control over its use. But it didn't matter. The peddler went back on the deal and mass-produced copies of the tape. The video reportedly showed only a few minutes of explicit content, but those few minutes made about $77 million in sales in less than a year.
The stolen property, either of us made anything from it.
Lee admitted that the stress from the tape sale and release exacerbated all of the problems the couple were already experiencing in their marriage. He wrote, "Pamela and I were fighting all the time, trying to raise our children, continue the careers that consumed us, make a new relationship work, and deal with the nonstop barrage of bullshit in the press was more of a challenge than we ever could have expected." Anderson and Lee's relationship was anything but stable. E! News reports that Anderson first filed for divorce in November 1996. After reconciling and welcoming son Dylan in December 97, she filed for divorce again following Lee's arrest in February 98. They reconciled briefly following his release, with Entertainment Weekly reporting that they considered remarrying in 99. At the time, Anderson told the outlet, "I picture Tommy and me, old, toothless, on a bench somewhere with our tattoos." 5 years after splitting again in 2000, Lee told People magazine that he was, quote, crazy in love with Anderson and that they were taking things slow. But in 2006, Anderson shacked up with with Kid Rock and tried to get sole custody of her and Lee's sons. She and Rock divorced the following January, and Anderson married Rick Salomon in October 2007 before annulling the marriage 2 months later. In 2008, Lee told Rolling Stone that he and Anderson were giving it another try, but they officially called it quits in 2010. After they were over for good, Anderson told People magazine in 2015, "There was Tommy, and then there was nobody else. He was the love of my life. We had a wild and crazy beginning that was too much for both of us." Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Nicki Swift videos about your favorite celebs are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.